Hi everyone, welcome back to Kat's Book Corner, where we talk about all things book and bookish. This week is actually my 1 year anniversary of doing this, and I actually am pretty proud of what I've been able to do. I don't have many people watching, but the people who are, I am incredibly thankful for you all, that people actually want to hear me talk about stuff that I love. And even if people don't like it, I'm still so happy that I've done this because I can actually talk to, well, a camera, but some people about some books that I like. It's been it's been great. Like I've had a pretty great year with this. And I've done like a video a week, which I was so incredibly proud of. But I have a couple questions I'm going to answer. There's only 10, so this might be shorter, might be not. I've been getting good at kind of stretching it, which I like. Okay. But let's get into question number 1, which is, if my life were a book genre, what would it be? Well, obviously realistic, because, well, there's all types of realistic stuff. Like I'm in school, so maybe like a academic sort of thing, considering I'm like in college, and that's where like a lot of the books that I read, which take place like realistically, that's where they take place. So like that type of thing, and I'd hope, I mean, if it's a book, let's add in some fantastical elements. Let's give it a bit of fantasy, because I would love, 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 love to live in a fantasy world. Of course, I would probably die in a fantasy world because I am not strong, or like any types of the stuff of how they survive. Like, I'm basically Violet without the smarts, which is awful because Violet survives from because of the sole reason that she's smart and she's able to like overcome like how weak she is. I'm her, but without that. So I would most definitely die in pretty much any fantasy book. But I would love if like my life had like little sprinkles of fantasy. Like a dragon was real. I love dragons. They're so fun. But like magic and stuff. Like that stuff, if it was real, I would be studying magic. I would love to know magic. I just feel like it'd be so fun. I really, really wish it was real, but if it's not, so realistic is really the only genre my life can really be, with like maybe some sprinkles of like academic stuff, considering where I am. But like, that's it. There's not really anything else that it could be, as much as I wish it was something else. Maybe we could have like a little bit of thriller, considering my anxiety. Oh, that would be fun. Oh, it would be so nerve-wracking. Okay, question number 2. Which villain from a book do you identify with the most? Now, I have 2. The first one being Lucian from The Nine Lives of Lucian. Because of how broken he is. I relate to Lucian in that aspect where it's like, I don't know which me is the real me. Because he has that entire doubt at the end of, was the person I was when I was with these people the real me? Or is the real me this person? That is something that I identify with, where I don't know if the real me is this person I am in public, the person I am on camera, or what I am in private. Like, I don't know which one is me and which one is the mask, so to speak. But I'm figuring it out. I'll get there. And the second one I have is, there'll be a spoiler for this one because the villain isn't really known until the end. But One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McGinnis. Spoilers. Technically, I'm saying the villain is Simon. I know it could be Addie's boyfriend, who could be the villain. But it starts with Simon, so he's the villain that I'm identifying with. Because he's very similar to the first one I brought up. He's also broken. He's the one who puts everything into motion. Because he wants to see what happens. Like, he's very impulsive, and I get that. Like, I'm incredibly impulsive. Like, he wanted to see what would happen if he just wasn't there. Which, gotta say, at some points, I've also felt like that. So it's like, I don't agree with a lot of his actions, obviously. Like, most of these villains, I really don't. But, like, that thing, it sort of spoke to me. So, there is that. I really loved that book because it felt so raw and real. Most books don't really feel as real as that. And it's... But, like, a lot of his actions, I obviously don't agree with. Like, stuff doesn't work that way. But his thought process going into it, being like, what would happen if I'm not here? Would anyone care? Could I get these people, like, to care? Something is like, yeah, that's something a lot of people, I think, do wonder when they're thinking about, well, you know. So I've had that thought process, so I relate to Simon in that aspect of it. Okay, this is question number 3. What book in the past did you connect with, which I no longer do? Now I have 2 for this one. One is Dragon's Keep by Janet Lee Carey. I don't think I've talked about it that much on this channel. I think I've mentioned it once or twice. I read this twice. I read it last year and I read it when I was younger. Now, I loved it when I was younger because it had dragons, it had magic. It was like a very Arthurian tale because it took place like very Arthurian, which was like, it was like medieval. It had like magic and that type of thing. Like, it was very medieval and I really liked it. And reading it again, I'm like, this wasn't as good as I thought I remembered it being, which means my reading tastes have changed, which is fine. Like, my reading taste obviously would have changed. It's just, it was surprising to me because when I read it the first time, I hated romance. Like, I don't think I read romance for romance's sake, like, at all when I read it the first time. So I completely forgot there was a romance subplot to that book. In fact, it's not even a subplot. It's like a main part of that book is there's a romance. Completely forgot about it. But when I read it the second time, I'm like, what is this romance? It was like completely brand new to me. But there were so many like other things of that book that were good. They just, I don't think were reached in a way that I would have liked it. But there was so much that I did like. Like, I liked the whole claw thing, and I liked how the whole like story of Rosalind's birth, and I liked the relationship she had with her mom. Even though it wasn't great, it was still like, it was really interesting to read about. And I mean, I liked the love the second time I read it. It was new to me. I wasn't a huge fan of it in general, but it's fine. And the second one I have is Imposters by Scott Westerfield. I don't know if I said I've read it twice, but I did. I read it when I was younger, and I read it when I was, a couple months ago. First time I read it, really, really good. I really liked it. I still, like, the ending always ingrained to me, like, how steadfast I can be. Like, that ending, oof, I love it then, I loved it now. But I tried this book because I didn't like the Ugly series, as I've said. Because I tried to read the Ugly series. I didn't really like it. I got like halfway through the first book, and I'm like, this is not good for me. I don't like it. So I gave up. And I heard this is like a spin-off of that. So I like understood some of like the stuff. Some of it's a little confusing with like, the words. Because they created like a whole like language, which a lot of books and stories do. Like, they give you their own like what words mean. But this was a spin-off enough to where it didn't matter if you didn't know what they were. You could figure them out by context clues. And I really liked the story. It was good. It just felt a little fast to me the second time I was reading, which makes sense. It's not for my age. It's for teenagers, and I'm not one. So it makes sense as to why I think it's fast. As a kid, I was like, oh, this is fine. It's cute. But, like, when I read it now, I'm like, their romance is, like, being sped run, basically. Like, very, very sped run. Of course, if we can get that scene at the end, I'm like, I don't think I care. that is why I think it moved up a bunch of spaces, is because of that end scene. And I don't know, I really I enjoyed it. Like, it's still a 3.75. Like, I really did enjoy it. It's just, it wasn't as good as I remembered it, because I remembered it being like amazing when I was a kid. Okay, question number 4. Which recent book that you've read would you love to be a character in? The Natural series. I would love to be a character in the Natural series. I want to be a part of the Naturals. And I feel like I could. I feel like I'm smart enough. I mean, I don't have nearly enough trauma to be a natural. But I could be their friend. Like, I could be their friend. Maybe that would help. I don't know. I really want to be a natural. Because they're just, they're just so good. And I loved that found family. The book specifically I put here was like Bad Blood, because it's the most recent one out of the ones that I've read. It's just, I would love to be a natural, to like work with the FBI and like have that type of like intrigue. It would be like amazing. And actually getting to be part of like that type of found family, because yeah, I've had friends. I have friends. I'm not that lonely. But I've never been like that close to my friends. I've never had like sort of like they're my family friends. I've had great friends. I have amazing friends. It's just we're not that close as to how the Naturals are. Which I want a friendship that's kind of like that, because I feel like it'd be great. We're like, they're basically my family. I feel like that'd be like so great. It's just I don't have those type of friends. But we'll get there maybe, hopefully. Because I feel like I really like that. Because the way it's written is just... To be fair, found family is one of my favorite tropes. So it might just be my bias. But I really like it. Okay, the second one I have is Fourth Wing. Obviously. I would die if I was in this story. I would die on the parapet. Because I'm an idiot and would go into the Riders Quadrant instead of like the Healers or the Scribe Quadrant, where I would probably survive. No, I'm an idiot and I would want to go into the Riders Quadrant and I would die on the parapet. And even if I made it through the parapet, I would certainly die during like sparring, or even if I made it that far to the gauntlet, definitely dying on the gauntlet. No way I'm surviving that. Though I would like to think if I did, a dragon would choose me. I like to think that if I could make it through all of that, maybe a dragon would choose me, because I want a dragon. I want a dragon and I want a signet. Like, it would be so fun to have like that type of stuff. And of course I would side with the rebellion, because all the higher ups at Bathstag are like idiots. I'm like, definitely joining the rebellion. It would be so great. I would love to join the rebellion. The Intern Door. I could meet Xaden and Violet and Imogen and Garrick and Bodhi. It would be just so great. Because I would love to be Violet's friend. I really would love to be Violet's friend, because we have a lot in common. But I would also love to be Imogen's friend. And Riddick's friend. I would love to be Riddick's friend. And Sawyer and like Jasenia. Like, there are so many characters in that book I would love to be friends with. Of course I'd like Xaden like for myself, but like I don't want to harm him, Violet. If I was in that world, I would let them be. I just feel like it would be great. I really wish it was real, but I would die, so it's like, glad it's not, but I wish it was, sort of thing. Let's see. How do my reading habits show off my personality? I'm a very big mood reader, as you can probably tell based on the formats of my several videos that are like this. I read when I want to, which isn't often. Even though how much I love reading, when I want to read isn't that often. I literally only like to read when I don't have anything to do. Which, that's not a great thing, you'd think, like, for having this type of thing where I like to talk about books. It's just, I don't like it. I love it, but I don't like it, if that makes sense. I don't think it does, but it makes sense in my head. Because I love reading. I just don't like the effort I have to put into it. That makes me sound so lazy. But I'm really not. I love, love, love reading. It's just, I'm busy and I don't feel like doing it. I really don't. Like, it's like I'm always in a slump until I pick up a book and I'm like, I'm not in a slump. Like, and if I stop reading for like a period of time, like how I am now, it takes me forever to pick up a book. Like, I hope I'll be able to get a couple through during Thanksgiving because, yeah, I'm like not reading right now. And it's not good because sometimes I'm in like such a reading mood and I'll read like 4 books in like 3 days. Or I'm not and I won't read a book for like 5 months. And I honestly don't know how to fix that. And I honestly don't really care because sometimes I'll find the best book when I come back into like reading, or I'll find the worst one and it'll push me to try and do something better. It really honestly depends on how I'm feeling. And most of the time I don't feel like reading even though I love it so, so much. Okay. What's a book that taught you something about myself? I've said this many times about this book, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This book has taught me so much about myself, about what I want in life. This book has. Like, do I want to be here, basically? That it answered that very big question I had when I was a teenager, if I wanted to be here. And the answer was yes, I do want to be here. I want to be with my family. Like, it answered that big question. And I don't think I would have came to that realization if I didn't read it where I read it. I read it when I was at like a camp by myself. I was not near anyone, any family at all. I was not near them. And I feel like if I was near them, it wouldn't have answered that question. Because it's easy to like disregard that question when you're around your family. It's harder to not answer it yourself when you're around people who don't know you, when you're around strangers, where you are getting homesick. It's much easier to answer that question when you're alone. So I really liked that. It also taught me the thought process to actually thinking through all of my choices. Because most of the time when I was younger, I wouldn't think through a choice and then I would come to regret that choice. So I'm learning how to live with those regrets, but also think through my choices and think about if I would have a regret if I made a specific choice. And I've learned a lot from that thought process. And I really have that book to be thankful for, and pretty much thankful that I am here is because of that book. And I am really, really thankful because I wouldn't have this if I didn't have that. Okay, number 7. The last book I recommended to someone. Now you'd think this would be the Empyrean series, which is, but technically I didn't really recommend that. They already were planning on reading this book. So technically I didn't recommend it. I just said, I love this book, you should read it, even though they were already planning on reading it. So I don't know if that counts. But the one I actively did recommend was Six of Crows. Because I think they read Shadow and Bone, although I'm not 100% certain. But I did recommend Six of Crows because it is my favorite. And we were talking about it, and I mentioned how Kaz and Injun are my favorites, and how they are just the best characters in that book. Like, they are the best. And then I mentioned how much I love the others, like how I love Jasper and Wayland and Matthias and Nina. Just how much I love it and how found family it is. Because it really is such a found family book. Like, I don't think any other book would be that found family. Like, it's basically, the way I thought about it is it's the Naturals, but it's fantasy. Because the way that they're written is very similar found family-wise. Because the found families are very, very similar, which I love, except the crows are bigger than the Naturals. But I love the crows. And, like, it always slips my mind that they're actually teenagers because they don't act like teenagers, but like they have reasons not for acting like teenagers. So I'm like, okay, we can deal with that. But I recommended Six of Crows, and I hope the recommendation works because it's such a good book, and I would love to talk to someone about it. It's just, I love them. They're so awesome. Okay, question number 8. Would you like more time to read books? The hard answer is yes. Now, that's a very hard answer because normally I'm fine with the time I have to read. But if I had more time, I wouldn't be as busy. I wouldn't be as busy with class or work, and I have like an actual free time. And it's not just something that I'm like procrastinating with. I actually have time to read. Then absolutely, I would love it. I would love it so much to have like, but like I would need to specifically dedicate that time to reading because then I'll get distracted and I won't read. Because that's the thing with me. I have to specifically like be like, I have to read today in order to read the book. Because if I don't, I don't. It's very, very hard because I have to specifically dedicate a time to read when I'm in the mood to read, which is a very hard schedule to get a hand on. But like I have to dedicate that time and I have to like force myself to open the book. Once I open the book, I'm completely fine. I can read like so much in like a day. But I have to literally physically like time to read. But if I had more time to do that, I most certainly would love to have more time. Like where I could dedicate it to be like, okay, it's time to read. I will read right now. Like I will open the book. Because I've got so much issue with like dedicating time to do that. Which is why it's so easy to do it when I'm at home. When I don't have anything to do. So it's so much easier to dedicate a specific amount of time to read when I don't have anything to worry about. So yeah, I would like more time, even though it's like I'd have to make it, even though I don't feel like it. Okay, number 9. Are you generally good at guessing twists or being able to see what's coming? How many stories have genuinely shocked you? Now, I'm pretty good actually at guessing the ending. I'm actually really, really good at guessing the ending. Like, I guessed the ending of Onyx Storm meant, spoilers, Xaden was leaving. I knew that from like the beginning of it. There are plenty of books I've guessed the ending of. Like I've guessed the ending of, let's see, what's a good one? I guessed an ending to The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I guessed that ending. I guessed the ending to pretty much every Harry Potter book ever. I guessed the ending to, let me look real quick about all my books. Oh, Court of Thorns and Roses, definitely guessed that ending. I guessed most of the natural stuff. There was like one twist that generally got me. So there's that one. The whole who's the big bad of like the entire thing. And like we know that person, that got me. Not spoilers. Not Agent Sterling's dad. I got that part, but Cassie's mom, I didn't get that part. I guessed Butcher and Blackbird. I guess that one. Let's see. I guess the Assassin's Blade, even though it broke me. Ember in the Ashes, got that one. But there have been a couple that have genuinely surprised me. Like, I think The One Who Got Away with Murder, that one genuinely shocked me. Like, I love that book. I loved it so much, but it genuinely got me. Like, if a book can genuinely get me, I'm like, okay, like, this is good. Like, the ending of All In genuinely got me because I was so surprised. But if it's like Trial of the Sun Queen, I got the ending completely. Like, that one was very simple. Foul Lady Fortune, I guessed parts of it. I guessed the Winter Soldiery thing, but I didn't guess who was controlling the Winter Soldier thing. Like, there are parts that I can guess very, very easily, but there are parts that are like, oh my gosh, this is so surprising, that I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I guess The Demon King, I guessed Kingdom of the Wicked. Like, there are plenty of ones where I've guessed and I've been right. Like, One of Us is Lying, I also got that one too. Like, there are plenty that I've gotten, and there's plenty that I haven't. And if I don't get one, normally the book gets higher. But sometimes it's not, because Girl Lost Murder is a 5-star, and The One That Got Away with Murder is a 4.5. But I liked Girl Lost Murder better. I don't know why. I think it's because it had a lot of the mixed media stuff, which I love. But The One That Got Away with Murder is one of my favorite murder mystery books. Like, I genuinely love that book. So, I don't know, like, I love being able to guess an ending. Like, that's some of my favorite stuff. Like, to be able to, like, theorize and be like, oh, I'm right. Because I have so many theories about series that are continued that I have, like, thoughts on. So I'm like, yeah, okay. And there's some in there I'm like, I am so confused. I don't know what's happening. Like, I guessed the ending of Onyx Storm. I don't know where it's going. I guessed that he was gone, but I did not guess that where we are. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm curious about. Okay. Number 10. How many books do I currently own? Now, I'm just talking about my little library, which you've seen a little bit in my room when I'm filming there, because I have the whole shelf behind me, and I have like a tiny shelf on the floor. Then I just have books on the floor everywhere, stacked up. Like, I have books everywhere. Now, I have like a list that I wrote. I have currently in my room, I have more, but these are the ones that are specifically mine. Like, these are the books that I bought or I was gifted, or like, these are my books. They're not just books that are around my house that aren't mine. But these books are. I have 108 books. Now, I would love to have more, because I love them so much. So I would really love to have more books. I don't know where I would put them, because my room is kind of full of books at the moment, but I love them so much. So I would love to have more, and I genuinely, at some point when I move out and have my own place, I would love to have like an actual like dedicated library where I can put all of my books and like actually have a place for them, instead of just having them on the floor or like everywhere, because my room is a mess. Like, eventually when I finish the rest of my books, because I only have a couple that I haven't finished, I'm gonna rearrange it, and I'll probably give you guys a tour about what it looks like. I mean, it might be, if I'm lucky, it might be in January when I do that. So, because on the list I have, it says I've read 89 of my books. I read 89 of them, and that is a lot. And I'm very proud of that. It took me 2 years to get it down. And I have 19 left, obviously. And knowing that I can finish 10 books if I'm lucky in 2 weeks. So Christmas is coming up. I have like a month off while I will be at home. So I might be able to finish the rest of them while I'm home, and then reorganize, and then I can show you around. I feel like that'd be really nice. And I am really excited to have more books, because Christmas is coming and I'm probably going to get books, or at least a gift card so I can buy books. And I make a goal to myself, once I finish these 19, I'm going to start buying series, so I can start crossing series off the list. Because I really want to start completing series instead of just buying the first book in a series. I feel like that would be so much better. But yeah, like, I'm incredibly thankful that I'm able to do this. Like, because I never thought that I would actually enjoy doing this. I thought it would just be like a way for me to vent. But I do truly enjoy making these things, even though they sometimes stress me out about when I'm going to film and when I'm going to post and stuff. I'm genuinely happy with all of this. And I cannot wait to see where the next year brings us. And hopefully, I don't know if you guys have been complaining or not, I might actually get a mic or a camera for Christmas. So that'd be nice. Maybe it'll get more people to like watch, but I don't really care. I genuinely like talking about all this stuff. So, thank you all, 15 people who watched, who subscribed here. I'm incredibly thankful for that. So if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone.